Used car prices are slowly inching down right now after rising significantly during the pandemic and in the months since. According to Cox Automotive, in new data released today, the average cost of a used car now stands around $26,200.
Now, in comparison, Cox reported that while the cost of new cars has increased, they've actually become more affordable. So to help us try to break this down and understand exactly what's going on with these fluctuations is Jeff Gilbert, auto reporter for WWJ Newsradio 950. Jeff, thank you for joining us.
Sure, thanks for having me.
All right, so simply put, what's happening right now?
Well, what's happening is you're starting to see, after a couple of years of really tight inventories where people had to wait forever to get a new vehicle, the inventories are loosening up and people are able to get new vehicles other than, the hottest models. They can get them without necessarily a dealer markup and without having to wait and maybe a few incentives. As this is happening, you're seeing the economic conditions deteriorate a bit, and that tends to hit people who are used car buyers more than new car buyers. Then Cox pointed out in this particular study, the income tax refunds are averaging less this year than in previous years, and again, that tends to impact people who are used car buyers more than new car buyers. That's why we're seeing the new car market edge up, all this pent-up demand, and the used car market is actually feeling more the blunt of the economic conditions.
Now, historically, the advice is don't buy a new car. It depreciates the second you drive off the lot. Don't ever do that. You have a lot of people who that's gospel to them. Is that not the case anymore, or is it just a slight advantage?
Well, what's gospel to one person isn't gospel to another person. New cars are emotional purchases. I wouldn't tell somebody not to buy one, because if you can afford it and you really like it and it has all that you want, that's great.
Yeah.
Probably from an economic point of view, maybe a recently owned used car might be a better choice. But again, everybody is different, their situation is different. And one of the reasons that the average transaction price of a new car has gone up so much is because the people who are buying them tend to be people who have higher incomes, and they want them fully loaded. They don't want to get a base model. They want to get something with the leather seats, the heated seats, Super Cruise for GM, Blue Cruise for Ford. There are all these goodies, and they just add on to the price.
So for people who are ready to make this move, go out to the lot and start looking, what do they need to have on their checklist?
You mentioned Cox Automotive. They own Kelley Blue Book and Auto Trader. Those are great sites to look at, as well as Edmunds.com. Take a look at what vehicles they're selling for, where they're going, how long the wait is for a new vehicle. Because if you went back last fall, you might buy a new vehicle and you'd have to wait several months. Today, a number of vehicles, the hottest vehicles you'll still wait for, but there are a number of models that are still on the lot. Again, it's a personal preference. Most vehicles today are pretty good. It's what do you want? What fits into your lifestyle?
What about some of those market conditions since the height of the pandemic, especially? I mean, there were supply chain shortages, especially with chips and things like that. Have those alleviated somewhat?
Just as they alleviate, something new pops up. So there are all sorts of issues. Chip situation is getting a little bit better. Sometimes you run into a situation where there's a hiccup with some other part. I was just seeing this week, Cadillac wants to get the Lyriq, its new EV, out there. It still has some issues getting the batteries out there, because not only is it the chips, but you've got a lot of new technology like battery technologies, and you just have the issues of labor shortages. Sometimes a supplier may not have enough people to make a certain part. So it's a lot better than it was, but it's certainly not like it was before the pandemic.
Sure, a lot of work to go. So this sounds like this isn't something you just do on a whim. You want to do a little homework, especially given the changing conditions.
Exactly, but hey, come on, we all occasionally buy a car on a whim, don't we?
Do you see any change in the future, especially with the move towards electric, the emission standards proposal we just saw from Washington? How does that factor into the years ahead?
It's interesting to look at the different companies and their different philosophies. GM, Volkswagen are like the two companies that are all in on EVs. Everybody else is at another area. Toyota is into hybrids. What you're going to see is you're going to see more EVs. I don't know if we're going to see 2/3 of all the cars being sold being EVs by 2032 as the government wants. Well, you'll see a lot more. And you'll also see hybridization of everything else, because to meet these standards, a pure gasoline engine can't do it, so it's going to need some help from an electric motor. So we're going to see very few pure gasoline vehicles in the future, a lot of hybrids, a lot of plug-in hybrids, and more EVs.
Might there be a run on gasoline-powered used vehicles in the years to come?
I was thinking of that. If you want to invest in something, get a big garage, buy a lot of gasoline-powered vehicles, and about 5 years later, hey, I've got a nice brand new 5-year-old gasoline vehicle. Because it'll be interesting to see, the marketplace is an interesting thing, so it'll be interesting to see how it reacts. I have a feeling when EVs become the norm, a lot of well-kept gasoline vehicles may keep their value a lot longer.
It's premium.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Jeff. We really appreciate your expertise.
Thank you.